What's up guys, it's Susie Bullock from HeyGrillHey.com and I'm here to help you make better barbecue, feed the people you love, and become a backyard barbecue hero. Today we're doing something a little bit off the wall. It's very exciting, very fun. We're gonna make a pumpkin spice pulled pork. It's got a pumpkin spice dry rub, pumpkin spice barbecue sauce. You're gonna experience all those warming, delicious fall flavors like cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, all in a smoked pulled pork sandwich. I mean, I'm in love with this one. I'll teach you how to make it. Let's do it. To get started for our pumpkin spice pulled pork, we're using an 8 to 10 pound bone-in pork shoulder. It's also called a Boston butt. If you need to trim any excess fat off the top, go ahead. A little bit of a fat cap is totally fine. Now we need to make our pumpkin spice dry rub. This is the flavor that inspired the whole thing. We start with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon of kosher salt. You want that nice thick grain on the salt. A tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. This sounds weird, but I promise it's not weird because the key ingredients in pumpkin pie spice are cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, allspice. These are all warming spices. They're incredibly delicious and they don't necessarily have to read dessert. You can totally take them to a savory place. They're gonna be delicious with this pork. 2 teaspoons of coarse ground black pepper, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Just give that a good mix with your fingers. Make sure that there are no clumps in the brown sugar, no clumps in the pumpkin pie spice. You don't want a big chunk of cinnamon, you just want it nice and evenly distributed. This recipe should perfectly cover 1 pork butt, so just go ahead and sprinkle it evenly on all sides and then press it in with the palm of your hand. Perfectly seasoned on all sides. It smells beautiful and very fall-like, to be honest with you. We're gonna take this out onto the smoker, 225 degrees. I like these to go low and slow. It's gonna take about 8 to 10 hours for the first step of this cooking process. I wanna get it to an internal temperature of about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll have a nice dark bark starting to form around the outside. I'm gonna be cooking this with maple wood. I like the idea of maple with pumpkin spice. We're actually gonna be using maple in the barbecue sauce later, so it's all gonna tie together. So once our pork shoulder hits an internal temperature of about 165 degrees, I like to use my thermometer to get a good read. Make sure you don't hit the bone, you want the thickest part of the muscle. That means it's time to wrap. I like to wrap in butcher paper. This is gonna help retain a lot of the moisture, prevent any of the ends from drying out. It's also gonna allow the smoke to continue to impact the meat itself, develop a really nice, lovely bark on the outside, and then we're gonna put it back on the smoker until we reach an internal temperature of about 203 degrees Fahrenheit. That means all of the tight connective tissues have broken down. We're gonna have beautiful color and it's gonna shred perfectly apart. While our pork is smoking, it's time to make our pumpkin spice barbecue sauce. Like I said, all of those warming flavors of cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice are gonna be absolutely delicious in a barbecue sauce format. It's pretty simple. Start with 1 cup of ketchup in a medium saucepan, a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. This will give you a nice little tang. A 1/4 cup of maple syrup, just to give us that fall, super sweet, really delicious experience. 2 tablespoons of molasses. Now it's time for our dry ingredients. A 1/2 cup of light brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and lastly, our pumpkin spice, a teaspoon right in there. Cook this over medium-low heat. Bring it to a nice soft bubble. Let it simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. Turn off the heat. Let it cool. You can put this in a jar, seal it tight, keep it in your fridge. It'll last about 2 weeks. I actually like it when you can let it sit for a little bit. Those flavors marry together so beautifully. Of course, you can use it same day on your pulled pork, but I bet you'll enjoy it even more a couple days from now. Sauce is done. Pulled pork came off at 203. It's been resting for about an hour. That means it's time to pull it apart, see what we got in this beautiful package of butcher paper, and make some sandwiches. Moment of truth, guys. Look at that. Oh, that bone just wants to pull right out. Beautiful. This is perfectly cooked. All those tight connective tissues have broken down. That pumpkin pie spice has formed an amazing crispy bark on the outside. So we just want to work all of that in as we shred the pork. All right, we got our pulled pork, we got our yummy buns. Top each bun with some of that delicious pumpkin spice pulled pork. I wish you guys could smell this. You'll have to make it at home so you can smell it.
Speaking of yummy buns.
That would be your favorite, my favorite intro of yours yet. Yummy buns.
I was waiting for you to catch on to that
yummy
intro, and I
buns.
just had to take that opportunity from you.
All right, pumpkin spice pulled pork.
This was my idea. Folks.
Pumpkin spice barbecue sauce. Todd has dreams and I make them come true.
It was a joke, okay? But it's real now and I'm excited about it. Really, I just did it to make everybody mad. Another pumpkin spice recipe.
All right, but I have a feeling these are gonna be super legit though. Ready?
Doing this?
Yeah, because we gotta tell them what it tastes like so that when they make it at home, they'll know what to expect. Smoky, porky. The barbecue sauce is sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's got some really nice acidity from the apple cider vinegar.
It's like smoked pulled pork, but it's got a bit of that pumpkin pie flavoring to it. That's crazy. That's good.
Honestly, it just tastes like fall.
Yeah.
It's really good. The spices are really warming. I think you can make this any time of year, but it gives me that like cozy down home comfort food type of experience. If you want to check out more of our pork recipes, click on that playlist right over there. We have videos for all sorts of barbecue recipes. We'll catch you next time.